I just want to set the world on fire.
Hey, how's it going? I am Nuke for Prayers and this is Fallout 4 weapon crafting with mods. Today we have the minigun. Now I'd just like to start off and say that the minigun is not the most versatile weapon to modify. Can't change how you hold the weapon or anything like that because you cannot change the receiver on it. And you cannot change the grip, which means that the basis of the weapon will always look the same. The only thing you can really do is change the barrel, so most of these designs are going to be very limited, and it is more about what they do rather than how they look. So I'm going to get on with the video and I hope you enjoy. The first weapon today is the 10mm Minigun. The 10mm Minigun is a very easy weapon to make and was a viewer suggestion. I believe the WMX mod allows you to do this. All you have to do is go on the magazine and change the cylinder to the 10mm cylinder. It makes the weapon a bit more damaging and all in all is the same as a regular minigun. This next weapon is very similar to the last one. This is the 10mm Recon Minigun. The Recon Minigun uses the very long recon scope and it uses an assault rifle suppressor on the end of the barrel. The scope allows it to have an exceptional view range, which gives you the ability to attack and mark targets before they can even see you. And the suppressor doesn't really mute the audio at all, but I don't know if it actually suppresses the weapon. I think it does because it does take a while for them to notice that you're around, but if you shoot a target that's already alert, they tend to go for you anyway, and the minigun does shoot more than one bullet at a time, so it's pretty much useless, but I thought I'd add it anyway. This weapon is pretty much, again, just a minigun because it uses 10mm ammo. It actually has a little bit more damage than the 5mm, but it is technically still just the standard minigun. This next weapon is the Assault Minigun. The Assault Minigun uses 5.56mm ammo from the assault rifle, instead of using the 10mm ammo from the pistol or the 5mm from the minigun itself. It's more damaging than the 5mm, but less damaging than the 10mm. In order to make up for the lack of damage compared to the 10mm, I decided to make it a high velocity barrel instead of a tri-barrel, and I also added the shredder for multi-purpose use. Kind of like how an assault rifle is multi-purpose, this minigun is now multi-purpose as well. This next weapon is the double barrel minigun. The double barrel minigun uses the double barrel from the double barrel shotgun, and it uses the 2-shot legendary perk to fire 2 bullets at the same time. I thought I would add this barrel instead just to do something different, and the resulting weapon is the same as a minigun. It does a bit more damage because it's 2 shots instead of 1, and the barrel itself will still spin because any barrel that you add to the minigun will spin just as the same way as the minigun barrel would. I thought I'd make this weapon just to do something a little bit different while still maintaining the standard minigun abilities, and the next couple of weapons will be a bit more creative and do some different things compared to the first few that are in the video. The next weapon today is the electric minigun. The electric minigun uses the junk jet electrification module as the muzzle, allowing the bullets to be changed into electricity. This weapon will still do physical and energy damage at the same time. The range is more limited because the bullets will dip with this weapon, but all in all it still does a very decent amount of damage and is quite a strong weapon compared to a standard minigun. Branching off from the previous design, I decided to make a Tesla minigun. The Tesla minigun uses the WMX mod to convert the projectile into Tesla electricity style projectile instead of the Junk Jets version which was previously shown. The damage of this weapon is significantly increased, but the range is greatly reduced as it's more of a close range minigun weapon than a distance one, but it will absolutely destroy any enemy that it will come across. I also decided to change the ammo type on this weapon to fusion cells because of the style of the damage, which did increase its energy damage even further. This next weapon is a remake of the Gauss Minigun, which I've made in a previous video. In a previous video I made a Gauss Minigun using the Gauss rifle suppressor to change the projectile. This time I decided to keep the appearance of the minigun as the standard and use the Gauss slug conversion from the WMX mod as well as the ammo conversion from the WMX mod to use the 2mm EC ammo instead of the 5mm. The result is a weapon that is very powerful. It does immense damage and will kill pretty much any enemy very quickly. Visually I also think it's a much better looking weapon than the one I made in the past, and it is also much more accurate. All in all, it is a much better upgrade compared to the one that I made before. Again, this is another weapon that I've made in the past. This is the homing missile minigun. The previous homing missile minigun I used the tri-barrel from the minigun, which doesn't look like it can shoot the missiles which actually come out of it. So what I did this time was I used the single barrel from the missile launcher and then I covered it with the minigun shredder to make it look more realistic as a weapon. Now the barrel is the correct size for the projectile that comes out of it, and the weapon will fire faster than it used to because the tri-barrel actually slows down the rate of fire. This weapon obviously is also very powerful. You can lock on to a target and shoot them from a distance with a shot from above, and that always is kind of fun to do. This next weapon is the plasma minigun. Plasma minigun is a very easy weapon to make. All you need to do is put a plasma barrel, either the sniper barrel or the automatic barrel like I did in this case, onto the barrel of the weapon. I then decided to add the conversion into plasma cartridges to make it a bit more realistic, and I also added the goo proc from the legendary perks. This weapon is another very powerful weapon, but I did make a plasma Gatling in the past and I do prefer that myself visually. But other people may prefer this version instead, so I thought I would make this one as well. The final weapon today is the most powerful weapon on the list. It's called Liberation. Liberation uses the WMX mod to convert its projectile into the Liberty laser. It also uses a high speed barrel as well as the rapid perk from the legendary perks. The weapon also uses fusion cells as an ammo conversion instead of the 5mm ammo. This also increases the damage even further. The final result is a weapon that fires the Liberty laser at an incredible speed, causing a very blinding light, but making a very damaging weapon that is relatively safe to use for the person wielding it, unlike something like the 10mm Minigun. This weapon can kill pretty much anything very quickly, but it is a very enjoyable weapon to use if you just want to wipe the floor with any enemy that stands in your way. As always, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Sorry that these designs are not as creative as normal, but the minigun is quite a limited weapon. I get a lot of requests for miniguns to convert them into rifles or to put a minigun barrel on a pistol or something like that, but the problem is that the barrel does not spin, and it just doesn't look very good if the barrel doesn't spin on the weapon. I could still do them if you would like me to, but I think that without them spinning they just don't have the same effect, and the Gatling laser is much more versatile, but again, changing the receiver on the Gatling laser stops the barrel from spinning, so I couldn't do it that way either. I have tried in the past, and I have tried to do Gatling rifles and handheld Gatlings and Gatling arm cannons and all sorts of things, but they just don't seem to work in the way that I would like and that I think you would like as well. On the weekend I should be putting up another viewer suggestion video, so if there's any last minute ones you'd like to add, let me know. And as always, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next video. Take care.